So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Webinar Wednesday. My name is Franklin. I'm the Product App Specialist for Kits and your webinar host. This is where we show you the tips and tricks that you need to know to becoming that supercharged power user.
Before we continue, also keep an eye out for our free training day. We've had a great turnout with our last two webinars, so be sure to join us the last Thursday at the end of the month. This segment is only for a limited time, so make sure you sign up if you require additional training or would like to refresh those Kits skills.
So today what we'll be doing is we're going to be using those Kits pre-configured planning typical galleries for our project. So Julia, what's on today's agenda?
All right, for today's agenda, we're going to be looking at starting a project using manufacturer planning typicals. So we're going to be showing you how to sync and preview those planning typicals and galleries. Then we're going to jump into selecting a planning typical and editing them, which is removing items, adding items, all that fun stuff. And then lastly, we're going to show you some additional resources that we have available that can help you speed up your Kits experience. So Franklin will now continue with the webinar.
All right, great. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and open up my Kits mobile tool. Oh, there it is. And what we want to do is we want to look at the manufacturer planning typicals. Now, before I get into it, what we need to do first is tap on the sync link to get into the catalog subscription screen. These planning typicals are available to you as a subscription. Basically, the manufacturers that you're authorized to sync, some of them may actually have planning typicals that are associated to those manufacturers. Now, in case you don't know, what's the difference between the planning typicals and the manufacturer catalogs? Well, the planning typicals are created by our content creation team. What we do is we try to create a synergy between what the manufacturer has available for you to use as a pre-configured resource. Maybe they have typicals online or possibly typicals of their pricing catalogs. And what we do is we try to reflect those same resources that the manufacturers provide. However, some manufacturers actually work directly with us and do provide the manufacturers themselves. So this is something that is slowly growing, and what we're doing is we're getting the manufacturers now engaged into the tool. They understand the requirements of the salesperson to having something that's going to allow them to sell quickly. So be sure to check out Kits so often. You'll see new planning gallery typicals start showing up. You may not be aware of them, so make sure you look out for any email blast that we send out. But it's important for you to check back to see what kind of planning typicals are available to you, because again, like I said, what we're doing is we're working with the manufacturers, a lot of the manufacturers now, to providing a lot of these planning typicals that we see that are available now through Kits. Another great thing to do is if you require certain typicals, let's say to be deemed as a standard for you, what you can do is you could submit your typical and say this is something that you use quite often, and rather than you building it all the time, you'd like to see it in some type of gallery. What we do is we're going to try crowdsourcing a lot of these typicals that we receive from our clients, and we'll start pulling them into user typical galleries. Okay, so this is something that we're going to start working on going forward, and it may be a great way for you to actually work with us to getting typicals that you like to use as standards into Kits, so you don't have to rebuild them at any moment. This is also a great way for you to actually engage the manufacturer that you normally use. Talk to the reps, let them know that you'd like to see more planning typicals, and what we can do is we could try to coordinate on your behalf to getting those typicals up on Kits. So it's a matter of just engaging further into the tool, working with the community, and making sure that the manufacturers also work with our community. Okay, so here you can see I'm currently in the planning typicals publisher list, and you can see all the actual planning typicals that I have available on my account. Okay, now again, this looks quite different than yours, and that's because I have full administrative access to all the manufacturers and those planning typicals. All right, selecting them, as you know, is as easy as just tapping that radio button and then running a sync. Okay, so this is where you can find all the planning typicals that are available to you. Make sure that you sync the ones that you need. You can manage the content you want, or if you want all those planning typicals, you can download them all. Okay. All right, so let's go right into taking a look at those synced those planning typicals that have now been synced to our iPad. All right. So again, here we are in the scene builder. To access the planning typical gallery, you need to tap on the Add Item button, and this will prompt the catalog filter to open. At the very top, you can see in the subcatalog or the submenu, it actually has the planning typicals gallery here or content here. All I have to do is tap on that, and it will now show me all the galleries that I have synced down to my account. All right. All you have to do is tap on a manufacturer, and you can preview all the different collections that manufacturer may carry. If there's something that you want to look further into, all you have to do is tap on that category, and it will bring you further into a submenu showing all the different galleries. Now, I'm showing you National galleries here, and they do something quite cool. National is one of the manufacturers that participates in the Manufacturer Partnership Program, which allows them to build these awesome galleries that you see here. What they like to do is they like to use their marketing images to represent the actual furniture items. Here you can see if I tap on that item, it now brings it into a feature preview, and I can flick left and right. This is a great way for you to present your ideas to your client, because what you're doing here is you're allowing them to see the vast array of product that's going to be available for their use. All right. If again, if you're not used to looking at the full screen preview mode here, you do have some information such as the planning typical name, a brief description of that, and then we have further details as well as a pre-configured price list. If I tap on details, you can see here we have some marketing information regarding this actual typical set. You can even tap on the hyperlink to find out more about this particular collection. But in case, if you're a salesperson like myself and you want to be able to control the amount of information that goes to my client, then what you can do is you can tap on that image one more time to get full presentation mode, where you can see what it does is it removes any of the clutter of the details, and it just shows a nice, stunning HD image. Okay. Again, this is National. This is how they present some of their product. And then we work with manufacturers such as West Elm, where with West Elm, it was the content creation team that actually built the gallery for them. And here what we have is also a different example of how we preview some of these planning typical sets. Here you can see these great planning typicals. But one thing that you probably have noticed here as well is the use of the KOE catalog to present these ideas. Okay, so like I said, it's a great way for you to keep engaged with us, with the manufacturer. All you have to do is contact us, let us know how you'd like to participate by submitting your typical sets. And what we can do is we can start pulling these sets to creating galleries that make sense for you directly. Okay, so if you would like to find out more information, you can contact myself or Julia, and we'd be more than welcome to helping you work with us with the planning galleries. So here's the planning gallery we're going to use today. As you can see, we got quite a bit of action going on here with the furniture. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tap on Add to Project to add this to my scene. And then I'm now going to drag it across. So it looks like I accidentally picked the wrong one. Let's go back. And let's find that one more time. There we go. And now let's drag it to our scene. Okay, perfect. So here is the planning typical gallery that we're going to use. Now, as you notice, you can see that the entire typical set is grouped because I have the red boxes as well as that single green box that's surrounding each item. That means that the typical set has been grouped as one, so that if I tap over on the screen and I tap on one of the actual items, you can see here I can now move them all together because they get selected all at once. All right. Even though they come in grouped together, these planning typical sets are fully editable. Okay. All you have to do is ungroup the actual set. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tap on Ungroup at the bottom left corner, and that has now ungrouped my typical set to now allowing me to edit each individual item, as you can see here. Okay. What I'm going to do is we're going to change a little bit of the scene, and we're going to introduce some new chairs, and then we're going to also apply different finishes. As I said before, even though the planning typical sets come in pre-configured, they are fully editable. So here we're going to go into plan view, and now just going to do a quick selection. And what we're going to do is we're going to remove these bank of drawers. We actually don't need them. As well, we're going to remove one of the meeting table clusters here. And then we're going to take this set, and we're now going to drag it over and rotate those together. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the storage units behind, and we're also going to drag that closer in there. So now I've edited what I need to use for my scene. Another thing I'm going to do here is I just want to do a quick selection of everything, and I'm going to make sure that I center it in my floor grid. I'm not necessarily going to use the floor grid to space plan it because just by eyeing it right now, the actual spacing looks pretty good. If I go into a set, that's what it actually looks like now. Okay. Let's go right in. What we're going to do is we're going to also remove these chairs, and we're going to bring in some newer chairs. So I'm going to go to Add Item. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to tap a Reset All. Let's find West Elm. And we're going to go into Task Seating, Ergonomic Chairs. And what I want to do is I want to bring in these tall task chairs. Oh, sorry, wrong one. We want to bring in the lounge set. So let's go back into Guest Seating. And we're going to use the upholstered folding chair. Let's drag those into space. And I'm going to go into Plan View. And I'm going to nicely rotate those. Duplicate one more. And I'm going to rotate this one. Perfect. So you can see in a matter of actual minutes, I've been able to quickly edit this scene by adjusting it so it works for my client. I can even go and double tap on some of the actual finishes. And here, if I need to select some newer finishes, I can certainly do so. And tap on Done. Okay. You can see here what it's done is it's changed them all. In case you ever make a mistake, you can always tap on the Undo button, and that will revert it back to where you need it to go. Okay. So I've completed that. I also need to make sure that these are white. Tap on Close. And that looks good to me now. All right. So again, you can see how quickly we were able to edit the actual scene by making a few changes and then also editing the actual items that we need. Here, I'm going to actually make some changes to this chair. And again, what I can do is I can adjust my swatches below by filtering out, let's say, grade A fabrics, as well as some grade C fabrics. And mainly what I want to look at are my blues and grays. Okay, so what I'm actually looking at right now are only those fabrics found in grade A and grade C in either blue color or gray color. Right? Once you find the actual item you need, you can go ahead and tap on that and tap on Done, and you can see it's now adjusted my scene. Lastly, let's go ahead and make some changes to these chairs, where we're going to add some additional finishes. And again, we're going to go with grade A's, grade C's, blue and gray. As you can see, here's the selection that we have, and we can go ahead and select the fabric that we want to use. Okay. Let's go ahead and make some changes to the fabric on the panel. Here, all we have to do is select the screen finish and tap on Done. And one more. And done. Okay, so you can see again how quickly we were able to make these changes to our planning typical set. Once I'm satisfied with that, I can go ahead and create a rendering, or I can easily access the KOE catalog to add some additional finishes. Here, what I want to do is I'm going to leave it with without any walls, but what I want to do is I want to be able to differentiate a bit of the space by using some of the available rugs sizes that we have. I'm going to bring it into space. And let's just place it around here. Double tap on that. We're going to select the carpet color. It's going to be in the bluish range. Let's go with this one. Tap on done, and let's go to 3D view. Okay, you can see even the most subtle changes really allows a great view of what the space may actually look like. Okay, we can even further this by adding more flooring. In this case, I'm going to use carpet 15, and we're going to go into plan view for this. Let's create one more duplicate. There we go. I'm now going to group these two together, and then I'm just going to quickly drag it so it covers the majority of our set here. Okay, there we go. And now I'm just going to quickly center this so that's all on the floor grid. Let's go to 3D view. We're going to add some wood flooring here. And I'm going to go ahead. Let's go with antique white. Tap on done. And what we need to do is we need to raise this one carpet up. There you go. Okay. These little subtle changes really makes an impact on the actual rendering itself because it really helps define the space that we're actually using. All right. So once you're satisfied with the angle, what you need to do is you need to utilize the iPad frame, and we're going to quickly render this. Okay. So again, what we've covered is basically how you can actually select the planning typical that you want to use, some quick editing in order to make changes that reflects your client scope. And also, again, here we are with a quick rendering. Happy with that. Save it to my photo library, and let's send this directly to our client. We can put in any recipient, and here's the generic email that it creates, and there's a lovely image we've now created with kits. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to actually turn this over to Julia to go over some additional resources that she'll talk about in a minute.
All right, so we have recently launched a new resource for our KITS Knowledge Center. We're expanding to provide you with more manufacturer resources. So as you can see here on the Knowledge Center, you can access a link in the chat box in a second. We featured all steel, so we've shown you 3 different renderings, each for different categories like private office or public spaces. So you can go on this site here, you can check out the renderings, you can click to expand the images. And then if you're interested in what you're looking at, you can definitely fill out the form here, and you can request for one of these projects to be shared with you. So if you like something that you see, you can request the project and we'll send it directly to your iPad. And then you can start building on that project and you can create more with it, add the KOE items, and it can be a great starting point if you don't want to start building from scratch.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Julia. So yeah, so if in case you're looking for some additional resources, all you have to do is go to the KITS Knowledge Center. Julia will provide a link on the chat box. Right now, we started off with a few manufacturers. Stay tuned because we'll be steadily building this. Again, this is another opportunity for us to work with the manufacturers to getting them engaged with the tool and making sure that the people that use their product have additional resources that will allow them to be able to work with their clients more efficiently with kits. Okay, and that's pretty much it for today, everyone. We've now covered looking at planning typicals, sort of what they mean, what you can do to help build those planning typicals, and again, a way for you to quickly work with your client using the planning typicals to quickly ideate with them.